Hey there everyone, Mr. Hayden here. I wanted to go over, even though I know it was already due, in case you haven't turned it in yet, as it will be a pretty big part of your marking period grade, I wanted to go over the leasing versus buying uh, little project assignment in more detail. If you already turned it in, good for you, you're done, don't worry about it. But if you didn't turn it in, I'm just going to go over it in a little more detail. I didn't think I would need to, but maybe there were a few things that weren't as clear as I would have liked. I did reword a few things to try to make it a little bit clearer. But basically, you're trying to compare the cost of should you lease or should you buy. So when you lease, you typically pay an amount due at signing, and then you pay, typically you have a 3-year lease, which is usually 35 monthly payments because they include the first month's payment in the amount due at signing. All right, so what we're going to compare is first leasing the car, and then at the end of your lease, buying it for the price that is agreed on in your lease. So car companies give you the option of buying your car once the lease ends. So we're going to compare taking a 2-year loan and buying that 3-year-old vehicle. So leasing and then buying, which is this option, versus buying brand new and just taking a 5-year loan and paying off the car in 5 years, not leasing it, just buying it. So if you buy it brand new, typically you're going to have sales tax, interest on a 5-year loan, and then depreciation. So in this table, I have for buying, I have what you're paying for buying, the sales tax, interest on the 5-year loan, and depreciation over a 5-year period. So that's the cost of buying brand new. Whereas leasing and then buying, it's the amount due at signing, 35 lease payments, the sales tax on purchasing the vehicle at the end of the 3 years, then 2 years worth of interest on a 2-year loan when you purchase the vehicle at the end of your lease. So the total cost of leasing then purchasing, or leasing then buying, you would add everything together and put it right there. Whereas for buying brand new, you compute everything and then you put it right there. All right, so how do you determine how much interest you're going to pay on your loan? Well, you're going to open the amortization chart, and you can use yours or you can use the one that I have a link to in the document or in the assignment right there. So I'm going to do open in new window. All right, sorry, I have screaming child in the background. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Okay, so basically what you'll do is enter the values for the amount that you're going to be borrowing. Now for the leasing then buying option, it's going to be you're going to borrow for 2 years. All right, you're going to put the same amount of money down. No, I'm sorry. You're just going to borrow the purchase price plus sales tax for 2 years. So you get the purchase price by looking, clicking the hyperlink in the directions, and it shows you this current leasing of, oh no, I have it written out, 25,676. So you would tack on sales tax to that, then take a 2-year loan at 3.19%. Now in the spreadsheet, I already have a little place where it'll give you the interest on the 2-year loan. I used the formula to do the sum of all of the interest payments between months 1 and 24. So that's what the total interest you're going to pay on 2 years to pay off that purchase price of 25,000, whatever it was, plus sales tax in 2 years. So you will complete that table and write down the total amount after the 3-year lease and then buying the vehicle. Then you're going to do the same thing for 5 years. And I tell you what the purchase price is. Let me correct this typo that I see. I have you, and of course, 3.19% for 5 years. 5 years. Now, you can assume that you're putting the same amount money down as is due at the lease signing, which I think is like 3,900 something. All right, so do at least, let's see. Now, right here it is. Buying brand new. Okay, so you're going to pay sales tax of 0.06625% on a sticker price of 44,500. Okay, so then the amount of interest, the amount of the loan you have to borrow would be the purchase price plus sales tax minus the amount due at signing. All right, so you do the math there. Go back to the spreadsheet, put in the numbers. Number of years would be 5 years, so it's going to be somewhere around 47,000, I believe. Well, actually, that's before you do the down payment of 4,000. So I think I have in the directions it tells you exactly the loan will be for the purchase price plus sales tax minus down payment. All right, so then back in the spreadsheet, I tell you, I put a cell in that says total interest charges on 5-year loan. So you can punch in the numbers and see what you get. So that would be the total interest on the 5-year loan. And now for depreciation. So the depreciation in both categories is a little bit different. So either way, you need to look up a 2015 BMW X3 with 50,000 miles. But for the depreciation for 5 years, for the lease or for the buying brand new option, you'd obviously subtract that from the sticker price of 44,500. Whereas for the lease then buy option, which is right here, the depreciation is going to be how much the 5-year loan is worth, subtracted from how much you paid for it at the end of the 3-year lease. Yes, my twin boys are getting into screaming and fighting match over which end of the couch they will be laying on. Yes, such is my life these days and the life of my wife. So think long and hard before getting twin boys. Maybe girls would be a little bit better. I don't know. At any rate, so that's how you do the first part. The second part is you're going to figure out how much after 3 years. So now, after 3 years, you won't have purchased the car, the leased car. You just kind of end things. So the only things that you've paid so far are the amount due at signing and the 35 lease payments. Whereas when you're buying it, you won't have paid off your loan yet. You still pay sales tax. You still pay interest on 3 years of the 5-year loan. So if you have the 5-year loan still up in your spreadsheet, then you go and type in the numbers as if you're buying it for 5 years. And then look right here. It'll give you the total interest charges after 3 years. So that would be what the interest is. And then the depreciation, instead of it being for 5 years, is going to be for 3 years. So you would look up a 2017 BMW with 30,000 miles on it, find out what its value is, subtract that from the purchase price to get the depreciation after 3 years. Then add all of these together to get the total cost of buying brand new at the 3-year point versus the cost of leasing at the 3-year point. So go ahead, complete this. If you don't have a printer at home, you can just hand write out the tables, making clear exactly what your what you have being as the amount due at signing, the lease payments, etc. So write a little description of what number I'm looking at. So you can do that on notebook paper, take a photo, of it and send it to me. All right. I hope that was clear. And make sure you get it to me. The end of the marking period is Wednesday. Make sure you have it to me by Wednesday. Some of you faithfully turned it in already. That's great. All right.